What did you notice? That's right, I'm utilizing all 4 fingers to maximize my speed and efficiency. And I'm going to teach you how to unlock these skills so you can maximize your potential and learn this exact method right now. Now you might be wondering, how does this work? Well, muscle memory is key here. We need to learn and store the movement information and allow our fingers to do the work. Take this scenario, for example. If I'm playing on my games console, when I'm watching the screen, I'm not looking down at what buttons I'm pressing. I've learned the muscle memory movement to allow me to press the correct buttons. It's the same if I reach out to grab my tea. I don't think what angles my fingers need to grab the handle. My hands just do the work for me, and the same principle applies here. Secondly, in each finger we hold 25% of our potential. Now we have 4 fingers in total, so when we add them together we get the magic number of 100% of our potential. Now my finger exercise utilizes all 4 fingers in every possible combination, which is why it gives you such amazing results. Today's exercise is going to be entirely played on the high E string, and we're going to start with fingers 1 and 2. Now these are going to be placed on the 1st fret with finger 1 and the 2nd fret with finger 2. Now the first thing to also check is to make sure that our hand position is in the correct place. So you want this kind of horseshoe shape or the crab's claw here, with the thumb placed on the back of the guitar neck, and our fingers want to hover just in front. They don't want to be far away like this, they want to be nice and close so they are ready to play. Now the goal here is to be able to play the notes nice and consistently. It is not about speed at this point, it's just about building consistency. So we're just going to have a quick check to make sure we can play those notes correctly, and you should be getting a nice clear sound like this. Now if you're getting a muted sound like that, it just means you're not quite pressing down the frets hard enough. So you want to make sure you're not hitting the metal fret, you want to be just behind it and getting that nice clear tone. Now each exercise is going to be 30 seconds long, so I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock, and one last check of the hand position, make sure you're all good, and we're going to start this in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now you want to take this at your own pace. If you can't keep up and it's a little bit too fast, do not worry, just go at your own pace at this point. Take note of how accurate my fingers are being and how the position they're staying in. Next we're going to move on to fingers 2 and 3. Now you might find this a little bit trickier to start off with, but don't worry, just stick with it and I guarantee you will get amazing results very soon. Now finger 2 is going to be placed on the 2nd fret, finger 3 is going to be placed on the 3rd fret, and again we're utilizing that high E string for 30 seconds. So one quick check of the hand position, make sure we're all good, and we're going to start this in 3, 2, 1, let's go. And again, just take it nice and steady at your own pace. Making sure you're nice and accurate, not getting that muting sound. Keep checking your hand positions in the correct position, and you're just getting used to that movement. Now it's time to get tough. We are moving on to 3s and 4s. And if you think about it, we don't use these fingers together very often. They're normally used in conjunction with our more dominant fingers. So it's naturally quite tricky to get used to this. But don't worry, stick with it, and I guarantee you will have amazing results very soon. Now our 3rd finger is going to be placed on E3, and our little finger or 4th finger is going to be placed on E4. It's really important here that you prioritize technique over speed. That's what's really important. You might find there's a little bit of straining and stuff going on here to begin with because you're not used to it, but stick with it and I guarantee it will become easier. just have a quick check, make sure that your hand position's all good. You've got the horseshoe shape, thumb on the back, fingers hovering. When you're ready, we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. And I'm just going to say again, keep it at your own pace. This one is a little bit trickier. But when you start to get the hang of this, I'll put up a link to the slightly more advanced version of this exercise and show you where it goes to next. And keep it nice and steady. If you can introduce that alternate picking, the down and up strokes, that's great, but don't worry if you can't at this stage. Now it's time to level up, and we are moving on to 1s and 3s. So this is where we now introduce a gap between the frets. So our first finger is going to be placed on E1, and our third finger is going to be placed on E3. So there's that space and that gap between them. Now again, it's really important that you maintain your hand position here. We don't go too far away from the frets. I don't want to be seeing this each time. We want to be nice and close, and you don't have to keep your finger placed down in between. You can take them off so they just bounce off just like that. Have a quick check of the hand position, make sure we're all good, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So it's really important to use the correct fingers here, making sure 1 and 3, 1 and 3. Remember, go at your own pace. If it's too fast, don't worry. Just make sure you build on that consistency. 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. So this is arguably the toughest of the lot. We are moving on to 2s and 4s, and you can see why this one's so tricky, because let's be honest, when do you ever use these two fingers together? It's quite rare, really. So yeah, just remember, go at your own pace with this one, and just remember that technique over speed is absolutely crucial. So we're going to have middle finger or second finger on fret 2 and little finger or fourth finger on fret number 4. Check your hand position, make sure you're hovering just above it. We're not out here like this. We want to be just above it. And when we're all good, we're going to start this in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Now that might feel a little bit strange. It is tricky, this one. But just stick with it at your own pace. Make sure you're using the correct fingers. Thumbs on the back of the guitar neck. Keeping that consistency. Just 5 seconds. It's time for the big stretch here. We're utilizing fingers 1 and 4. Now this can be quite challenging, firstly because there's 2 frets apart this time, so there's a bigger stretch, but also the little finger can be quite problematic because it's our weaker finger. But as I've been saying all the way through, do not worry, stick with it, and I guarantee you, you'll get amazing results within the next couple of weeks. Now, first finger, going to place on fret 1, fourth finger on fret 4. Again, make sure that your hands are not too far away from the fretboard, they're hovering in front of it. Check your hand position, thumbs on the back, stick with the technique. That's the most important thing, not the speed. When you're ready, we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, really pay attention to the correct fingers here. And you can see I'm not leaving my first finger pressed all the way down when I'm going to the 4. I take it off and go with it. Just maintain that accuracy. Try and make sure that little finger is not muted. It's a final exercise. It is all 4s where we utilize all 4 fingers. Now, if you've got this far, you've done really, really well. And I promise you, it will only get easier every time you play it from here on out. So we're going to utilize our first finger on the first fret, second finger, second fret, third finger, third fret, fourth finger, 4th fret. But when we get here, we're going to go back down, finger 3 on 3, 2 on 2, 1 on 1. Now take this at your own pace, nice and steady. Make sure you got your hand position in the correct place and make sure your fingers don't come too far away. When you've done those checks, we're going to start this in 3, 2, 1, let's go. It's really important, keep the accuracy here. Don't try and go too fast here and trip over your fingers. Keep it nice and accurate. And you can actually try this whole exercise without looking at the fretboard or with your eyes closed once you get more comfortable with it. We've got the last 5 seconds. Now, well done for getting through that. It's really not easy when you're starting out, especially to jump right in the deep end and use all 4 fingers. But the good news is the hard work is done now, because every time you play this, I guarantee you it will get easier. I recommend doing this at least 3 times per week, but ideally every time you pick up your guitar to practice, just run through that exercise and I guarantee you within the next 1 to 3 weeks you will have unbelievable results. Now, if this video has given you some value, please remember to smash that like button and hit a subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to show that extra bit of support, you can always join my Patreon page or you can visit my PayPal donation page. As ever, you've been watching The Music Halls. I'm KH. Until next time, keep on rocking.